Alrighty, guys, here we are, hole 2. And I'm going to use the rock this go around. Even if you have, the high level of POC, I feel like it's just not necessary. You don't need a 240 power number here. You can even see this guy with the QB can basically get this out far enough. Biggest thing about him, he doesn't have quite as much curl. So you'd want to avoid this shot because I think QB maxes out around 85 curl, and you'll see rock is much more, I don't know, 95 at least. It's higher. It's much higher. So it's more in line with an apocalypse. So we are going to go rock driver here, rock 8 more specifically. I don't have a rock 9 on this account. So with his limited curl, you can see he's doing more of a hook slice method. Highly, don't recommend this shot just because it's just so complex, so tough. It's much better to just go with the rock. It's going to be much more reliable. If you can just go with the curl shot here and not have to worry about, consistency on a hook slice, it's going to make things a little bit more reliable. So all we're going to do is go out this way, and we'll play more of a ring precision shot. So I'm thinking of landing somewhere up in here. Let's just try this. I'm thinking in this case, maybe 10 rings. On top of the 10 rings, though, we are going to push straight forward. Back up to the full number here. Thinking something along the lines of this. And we'll just maximize the curl. A little bit of backspin. It looks like it just clipped the rough. So it looks like we just need to make a minor tweak there on our, so you can see I pushed back up to max. Let's say that wind was a 7 something and not a 9. It probably wouldn't have carried down far enough. However, with that case, it just over carried. So you can see I just clipped the top of the rough up there. So you can see it's just going to require just a minimalist tweak. Another thing, that you can factor in that, I kind of forgot about there is with all the curl that I'm doing there, I shouldn't need to go 10 rings for a 9. It should be probably a little bit closer to 1-to-1, maybe even a little under. Let's say I was to go 8 rings there. What ends up happening is you curl it so much that the ball's going to land left of the target line anyway. So if you go 7, 8 rings there instead of 10, what's going to end up happening is the extra left curl is going to make it land farther to the left anyway. So it's like you're going that many rings as an overplay. So that's something that you'll want to think about. Now, granted, even if you do make this slight mistake here, you are still going to have an opportunity here. You can see I'm going to play about 1 cup outside here. About 1 cup outside. And if we can get our perfect ball, we should still be good to go. And it looks like it did just grade up to the left. It almost looks like it forced graded me. So it looks like, it just kind of blocked out to the left. Yeah, I felt my release was pretty good, and it just kind of jumped over it. But in any regard, it's just going to take a couple attempts. And as you can see, no power, no anything. It's just going to be a very reliable shot, easy to do, much more than a hook slice method. So I, highly recommend not doing a hook slice method and just honing in on that rock driver. But as I mentioned, the one slight mistake that I think I did do is I went the correct number of rings, where I think you're kind of doing yourself a disservice. Because when you apply that much curl, you should almost under adjust and anticipate that, let's just say, 7 rings is going to land far more to the left than where that initial target is anyway. So after the wind actually takes it and it launches beyond the target line, all the extra rings are going to be kind of hooking in from right to left. So anything past the target line is just going to land farther down left, which is essentially the equivalent of going the 10 rings when you go the 7 or so. Like, it's going to be ballpark. So you can kind of under adjust those rings. But, aside from that, you'll just need to kind of make sure that you get that distance control down. You'll either want to put it, if it's a little bit too much of a tailwind, like that situation, or it was like in the 9s, we either want to come back from the max line just slightly, or alternatively, if the wind's a little bit smaller, we could probably put it there. But going the less rings is going to help that to kind of go a little bit more towards the open part of the fairway, and it might not have just clipped that top of the rough there. So keep all that in mind. Good luck, and I'll see you guys on the next hole.